Hey guys, how you doing? It's Brad Sundberg in the studio with MJ. I am here with James Little, co-founder of Arcus Sounds here in London, East London.
East London, for sure. Hi,
We,
everyone.
we've had an absolute delightful time here. What a cool place. How long have you been here in this facility, or did you own Arcus before?
No, we moved here in November 2020.
Really?
Yes,
Right in the middle of the pandemic.
absolutely. It's part of our origin story for sure.
Okay.
And that winter, we didn't have much else to do other than create most of the studio that you see today. And then there's been a 4-year process of iterating and improving until we get to where we are now.
Now, I mean, it's a fascinating arch. What do you know what the story is of where this came from, or?
Yeah, I mean, behind us, there's a train, the remnants of a train track.
The train used to go through your kitchen.
Essentially, yeah. So that's why you drop down from kind of a platform height down to the level of the train tracks in the kitchen. And this is one of the sidings for the road bridge that goes over the studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long ago was the train here?
I'm not 100% on that, but it's I think 60 to 80 years or something like that. It's been a while.
Okay. So what about you? Who are you? How did you get into this business?
So I'm from the UK. I have before coming to the music business, I worked for 10 years in community engagement and with sort of charities in a slightly different sector. And I had a bedroom studio. I've been a musician and a DJ and a producer for a long time. Around that time, I was looking to build out my bedroom studio into something more separate from my home, for example. But yeah, I guess like an increasing professional nature of my own studio, and kind of fell into running a studio because the space came up. It was bigger than I needed, but it was such a golden opportunity. I took it on and very quickly found collaborators and people who wanted to work together to create the studio that we are today. And actually part of the vision for the studio does come from the pandemic. We are like a video focused studio for music. And I think we wouldn't have been so cognizant of the need to make that part of our studio identity without the sort of temporary culture of the pandemic, which was so live stream based, video based, things like that.
Okay. I mean, every studio has its own personality and its own flavor, which makes it fun. Kind of give me the overview of what is Arcus Sounds.
Very much a live focused studio. That could be filming live sessions. It can be recording live tracking sessions. We do studio sessions as well. We also do rehearsals and writing sessions. It's a very modular space. We're really just trying to use it in any way that can creatively empower musicians and other artists around London. We focus on music because we think it's the most challenging live event for us to capture really well, to make sure the sound is really great for a live performance, to make sure the visual is really great for a live performance, and not compromise on the liveness of the performance. So always focusing on enabling the artist to really express the totality of their performance as much as we can. I think being in the room will never be replaced. But more and more, it's been necessary for musical artists to be multidisciplinary and to create video content. And I guess one of our theories as a studio is that their live performance is already the best and most valuable live content they can capture. But doing that is often expensive and difficult. And by focusing our work in the studio, we can make that as accessible to as many people as possible. And an average week here, we've got people coming in to rehearse every week. So regular people using.
So it's a rehearsal space.
It's a rehearsal space. We'll often be running a recording session in here, or in the production space that's our control room through the other room. And we'll have clients coming in to just dry hire the space if they want to record, if they want to film, if they want to just use the space for workshops. We have people coming in for this. And then we run 2 in-house series. One is called the Sounder Sessions, and that's now 4 years old, where we provide free live session opportunities to mostly UK-based artists, but
Okay.
we occasionally get touring artists coming through London. And so we try and take the opportunity to jump into people's touring schedules and capture something special. They're often busy schedules, so it's not always possible. And our second series is brand new this year. It's tentatively called West Jam at this stage. And that is a return to the live stream format, which we've kind of let go and generally has been let go of, at least in its purest form, since kind of 21, 22.
Right.
But we think it's a really great format for an open jam session. And this is a new opportunity for people to just turn up. They don't need to have composed. They come and play music with friends and capture it.
And I didn't tell you this, but I think I did watch a couple of those. It's on your YouTube channel, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And yeah, I checked a couple of them out when I was, kind of reviewing the space a bit. And yeah, I mean, it's a very kind of a free form, people come in, kind of play, step out. And yeah, it's very, I grew up in Santa Cruz, California, in the late 70s. And it's kind of got that just, come on in, jump in and have some fun kind of vibe.
It's totally the openness of the jam is the main culture of it. And that's, I think, providing a special opportunity because typically as a musician, you've got to be attached to a project. It could be your solo project.
Right.
But it's very hard to create personal momentum in the industry purely as a musician.
Right.
And this is an opportunity where you don't need to have any prep, but you still get the video and the audio recording content that helps support your career personally,
right,
and also potentially the projects that you're part of. But it's a very light effort in terms of you're just in the room playing music with people, which if you're a musician, a lot of us really enjoy that.
Well, and a lot of, I know, specifically of a lot of people that make music in their bedroom and they work on it, they work on it, but they never go out and they play live. And, the old cats, from the 70s and 80s, I mean, you play the clubs, you do the graduation dances, you do whatever, you just get out there and get out there. And there's a lot of younger artists that I'm not, I shouldn't say fearful, but I'm concerned that when it comes time to play live, they've never done it. And so something like this, I think, is great.
And it also speaks a little bit to the challenges in musical culture in the UK more widely. There are less opportunities than there were in the 70s to go out and gig all the time. Yeah. It's actually like to get more than one paid gig a week is hard work.
Yeah.
To get enough, and you can do free gigs, but you do also have to live. And in that era, I think you could get work as a musician 4 or 5 nights a week if you were really looking for it. It might not be exactly what you wanted to start with, but you could work on your craft and stay afloat, make ends meet. And that's not really true anymore. We're like really suffering in the UK with venues closing, whether that's for economic or sort of social reasons. Those opportunities are more limited, and most musicians, even to be successful within the music space, they might have a second job, but they'll also need secondary skills like media production to make it. So we provide an extra opportunity to engage with your practice that doesn't cost you any money, doesn't cost you any preparation, and you could literally just turn up if you feel like it, if you don't. And you're also getting those outputs that actually support your career directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to, if I cross the line here, tell me, at the end of the day, it's a business.
Sure.
How, what are your income streams?
Yeah.
I mean, people coming in playing music for free is fun, but how do you pay the bills?
Yeah. I mean, we pay the bills by providing those same services to people who are paying for them.
Okay.
Those opportunities work for the studio in 2 ways. One, they do give us an opportunity to improve and practice and experiment so that we can get the broadest understanding of how we can use this space to support artists that do come and pay to use our services.
Right.
We're also one of the big shifts towards this live stream format is that we are able to more confidently create content that provides passive income to the studio.
Okay.
And we're looking to share that with the artists. We're looking to create a kind of creative performance union, so that the studio has invested a huge amount of time in providing these opportunities for free up till now. And so there'll be some kind of transition period where we recover some of the costs and establish some sustainability for the people in the studio. But as time moves on, we'll be able to provide more and more of a percentage to the artists who've been involved in these sessions.
Okay.
So that's another.
So that's via YouTube. Is that your primary? Feeder? Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
I speak in a lot of schools, and I talk to kids at Abbey Road Institute. I call them kids, they're young adults. SAE, different music and recording schools around the world, and I try to give them, the industry. When I was thriving in the industry, I don't want to say that I've exited, but I'm certainly on the the far end of the scale. But when I was thriving, records were, it was records, it was jingles, it was, there was more work than you knew what to do with. You couldn't build studios fast enough. Now it's a different world. What advice would you give to, students who are looking at getting into the production world? Run?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question.
I'm kidding.
Well, the first thing that came to mind is the challenge, again, similarly for engineers as musicians, the challenges of getting well-paid work. I think actually now it's got so extreme in terms of there's a ceiling for how much people will pay for recording work. That ceiling is being pushed against by rising costs for studios all across this city and this country. And one of the things that's getting squeezed is the wage for an engineer, which is exacerbating the problem, because if you can't get paid work to build your portfolio, you end up doing free work to build your portfolio, which then creates a kind of cycle, a bit of a race to the bottom. And we pride ourselves in paying engineers the right rate. That's something that's really important to us. And we also ask a lot from our engineers, because actually live tracking and things like that isn't necessarily an expected skill anymore. So that's one of the things that's changed. You can be a producer who has a good understanding of engineering, but you're applying it in a studio context, one problem at a time. We're dealing with a slightly different thing. But I do think the key thing to do is to find a way to keep working on your skills, to do engineering. And so unfortunately, I think as a student, you've actually got a golden opportunity to be at an institution like that. That can change quite quickly once you leave the institution. So really taking advantage to use all the resources as fully as you can in the short time you have the institutions available to you. To try things, to get in the studio, to try the things that you want to do, to try the things that your friends want to do, and to support each other, to experiment while you have access to the really great resources of those institutions.
And plant those seeds.
And that broader experience will be invaluable to navigating the kind of the world after that, which will probably, at least temporarily, be more limited due to the scarcity of the opportunities. And secondarily, it will really help you to focus in on the kind of engineer that you are, as well as maybe the kind that you'd like to be. And understanding whether there's a difference between those two things and how you would bridge it. That's all really valuable experience for doing that. But you're coming to a market where it's really helpful to have a clear identity for yourself and not just be writing to studios and saying, I'll do some running jobs, I'll do some running jobs, and do some running jobs. We don't have a job site. We get applications every week from people trying to find work. This is one of the reasons we know that the opportunities are scarce. And the people who are applying for my studio with additional video experience or kind of more live production, event management experience, which is part of the challenges in a more live focused studio, managing lots of people, managing lots of problems, they really catch my eye. And if it's just, I've completed a course, I've got this experience at these studios, I understand that's valuable and important too, but it's not catching my eye.
Right.
And I don't have that many opportunities to give away. I have far less than opportunities to give away is not even the right framing. There just aren't that many jobs here.
Right.
We pay people well and pay a few people well. And I see more people that I'm interested in than I'm able to contact and say, hey, what's going on?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to circle back to one thing. The way that you record music here, I think is fascinating, because a lot of home studios, production studios, it's very, load up the computers, very sequencer based, and kind of in the same room, and you're really setting up a live band in here, and it's not a trek, but I mean it's a few steps over to the control room.
It's not next
and you
door.
said something interesting. You said you like to mix blind, which I think is fascinating. So you or whoever your engineer is in there just mixing 100% with their ears, not looking at plugins, not looking at musicians' expressions, and just capturing audio, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah, and we don't necessarily make it easier for ourselves either, because a lot of the preamps are in here. You've got to
scamper through
it's
the
like a 30-meter
access.
run to go and change a preamp. That forces you to have a certain degree of precision about the way you're gain staging from the room all the way through. And we're doing that across multiple channels, and we're rigorous about working that way because we have to be to get the results. But that forces us to work with a certain degree of precision that goes through the whole pipeline of recording. That intention is really valuable. And
I have listened to some of the stuff, and it sounds really nice.
Well, a huge amount of credit has to go to our head engineer, Adam Bonza, for creating the infrastructure that we use from a baseline level to even manage that recording process across 2 disjoint rooms. And he is our mixing and mastering engineer, and his broad experience of live sound, but also very precise mixing and technical understanding of the tools for mixing and mastering is absolutely invaluable. We wouldn't be the studio we are without him.
Awesome.
But we have also then collectively been able to build on his experience and the infrastructure he's created to then to learn a lot over these last 4 years about not just the general idea of recording, but then I think we're at a point now, and the jams really speak to this, where the whole room is a kind of recording instrument. We had that because they're that free. We have to think.
We talked about the arc and the whole. It's an interesting room.
It's an interesting room, and we're only scratching the surface of that idea. But that really is. It's for me. It feels a bit like the sense of a cathedral being in the resonant chamber of an organ, and it's inherently part of the instrument. And we're doing it on a more electronic and recording level, but it's exactly that same, trying to find the right structures of recording that help the humans who are in the room flow in a really effective way, that they can jam, that they don't notice that there's a kind of very intentional structure there that's helping them perform in the right place. We've got the saxes over here, we've got the drums over here, and the spill from those microphones and everything is all working as in concert as we can.
The room becomes part of the band in a sense.
Exactly, and that is a really fun place to have arrived at. And we didn't plan that when we started. We knew, we understood about room mics, we knew that it was a funky room, and we were learning all those things, but it's taken 4 years to build the services, opportunities, and projects we're doing here to a point that we're really starting to leverage that and get something interesting about it. And that's really exciting, because we will always be the experts in our own room, and the better we can be, the more value we have to offer the world from this room.
Amazing. Pleasure, James. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brad.
Absolute the best. Best of success with your beautiful room here, and thank you for letting us be a part of it.
Thank you for bringing in the studio of MJ here. It's been it's an incredible honor, actually, to be sort of feel the energy of such a musical great pass through the space.
Perfect.
It really is.
You're very kind. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, guys. Have a good week. I will talk to you soon.
See ya.